Hey guys, welcome back to Banana Engineering. Welcome back to our pulley assembly project. So in the last two videos, we built up the parts like the bracket, the pulley, and the bushing that is inside. And in this video, we are going to build up the assembly in a bottom-up approach. So please make sure you subscribe to this channel and like the video if you found it informative. So let's get started. Hit the file button, go on new, and this time we don't have to create a part, but we have to create an assembly. There we go, the assembly, and create. Now you can see the icon looks different this time compared to the part. It has those three cubes, one of them is blue. At first I want to show the planes. Go on Origin, open the folder, then click one plane, right click on the mouse and visibility, and you see one plane. Second plane, visibility, and third plane, visibility. Now those are the planes we're working with. Next thing I want you to notice is this little coordinate system, the Y, the X, and the Z axis. And I definitely want you to know where those arrows are pointing, where the axes are. I personally prefer to have the Y-axis pointing upwards, X to the right, and Z to the left. In this assembly, I want to build it up the way you can see it here, that the X-axis is pointing, as I said, to the right, and the screw is pointing to the right as well. The Y-axis, or the bracket, points upwards to the Y-axis, and that's it. This is how I want to have the assembly be put in the system. Okay, let's start with the bracket. Go here. If we want to choose the bracket, then we first got to make sure which option we got selected here on the box. Click the box, and then we only have to select place, the first one here. So then go to your folder where your bracket is. I got mine in my pulley assembly folder. Open the bracket, zoom out a little, and then bring it in. Click on Escape to make sure that you only have one bracket. Now you can see the coordinate system is twisted a little. So go on the Shift button on your keyboard, the middle mouse, to turn it the way you want to have it. For me, as I said, Y this way, X, Z this way. Okay, if you click the part with the left mouse button, you can see that you can move it around. And the first thing we want to make sure is that the bracket has its right place in the system. So I want to have this surface of the bracket be straight put on the Y and Z plane, this one here. So I have to select Constrain, and then the first one, the mate, is already checked. You go on this surface, then you say this surface, and as you can see right now, the bracket is pointing in the wrong direction. I want to have it the other way around. So I go to the solution here, the mate, and I flush it to switch sides. Now the bracket is pointing in the right direction on this plane, and I say apply for it. I want to place the bracket with the bottom side here. I click the bottom side, and you can see like the first selection is done. Now I have to make the second selection. You can see it by the highlighted box, and I want to have it on the ZX plane. This is the bottom plane here. Put here. Now you can see the system flipped again the bracket. I have to switch this time the solution the other way around, so it switches my bracket in the right direction, pointing skywards in the direction of my y-axis. Now I say apply. I'm happy with that. So I'll now quit it, and as you can see, as I now move around the part, it slides from right to left because there's only one constraint missing, and this constraint will be that the bracket is centered to this plane. So let's bring in this last constraint, go on constraint, and now I cannot choose any plane here in the center of my bracket. So therefore I have to open my bracket, go to the origin planes of the bracket, and now I have to select the right plane that goes through the center of the bracket. This is the XY plane, and then I choose mate here. And the third constraint, if it doesn't match immediately, then you have to switch directions again and make it match, and then apply, and I can close it right now. So if I now try to move around the bracket, I cannot do it. It's fully constrained to the system. And as I said before, it's a bottom-up approach. So this one is the first part, the bottom part of our assembly, and therefore all the other parts will be built up on this bracket. So now the job is done for the planes. I can make them invisible again. So this time I choose the first plane, then the last plane, holding Shift button so all the planes are selected. Go on Alt and V for visibility, and all the planes are gone. And this part is my first part. So let's save this approach. Go on Save. Make sure you're in the folder Pulley Assembly, and we call this Pulley Assembly, and save. You can see the name of our assembly. Next, I want to bring in the bushing. Go on Place. Go on your bushing and open it. Click once and then Escape. The bushing is moving around if I grab it with the left mouse click. So I want to set the constraints here, and this time, as it is a rotational part, I check the axis and check the axis here of the thread and say apply. Now we can move it around, and we cannot see it properly, but we can still turn it. Now next constraint will be putting this surface here on the surface of the bracket with the mate option, and I say apply. I still can turn it, but now some people say, oh, it doesn't matter. If you don't have the orientation of this part, the rotational orientation, then it costs you a lot of performance in your program. So this time I go to the bushing, open up the origin, and let's take the first plane like this one. And now I want to make this one matching up to the center plane of the origin plane of my system. So I choose once again, this plane, and match it up to this plane over here, the XY plane of our system. Now you can see those planes are matching together, and I say, okay. So let's see what we did so far. We have here the bracket. The first three constraints is the bracket to the main planes, number 1, number 2, number 3. Close it. Now the bushing has 3 constraints as well. Are there here, displayed here. The mate second, and then this one. So 3 constraints, I'm done with the bushing, nothing is moving. Now we save this one. So let's go here on place. So as placing is already selected, we can just click on this icon over here. So now we select the pulley, open, click in the pulley, click escape. We will place in the pulley the same way we did with the bushing. Go on constrain. First, we want it to match up with the center of the bushing, like so. And now, if we check out the assembly drawing, we got it here, we can see that the pulley will be right in the middle of the bushing. So we will have 1 millimeter to the washer and 1 millimeter to the bracket. Go back to our assembly. Now, as you can see, pulley is still moving around. I go on Constrain, click here on the surface, click on this surface, and now both are matching up, but I want to have a 1 millimeter distance, so I go to offset and say 1 millimeter and apply. I'm happy with that. So the only thing that's missing is the rotational orientation of the pulley. Therefore, I go to the pulley, open up the planes. The first plane I can use, this is this one, and I will match it up to the origin plane that is vertical, which is still my XY plane. I say OK. That's good enough for me. Let's save it. So let's give them different colors. So go here on this little icon, the color adjust. Select the color you like to have. Let's give this one a green. I have to go once again here. Now I have it, and I check here for the green, and then the pulley got the green. Once again, let's bring in some purple. And say OK. And for the bushing, I say, or the bushing, I click first the bushing and then go on the blue or whatever, like this. Yeah, always select the part first, then the color. And yeah, looks nice. Save this. So finally, the washer and the screw is missing. So this time we have to make adjustments here when we want to bring in the parts. So go on place here, the little box, and then we have to go to Content Center. So we first need the washer, and this washer is called ISO 7089. Go on return and then find the right norm. This is here. Click here. Then one left click in the assembly. And now please make sure that you save here as custom. You check this box. Then search for the right direction. This is the nominal diameter or the diameter of the screw. And now you say, okay, and because you check this box as custom, now you have the option to save it in the same folder as the rest of your assembly. Then you say save. And now you have your washer. Now, same game as with the pulley, go on Constrain, make sure you check out here the inner surface or the outer, like the ring, to select the axis, go here on the axis of the bushing, say OK or apply, pull out here the washer. Once again, go on Constrain, click on the surface, click on this surface to match it up. If you have problems with it, no, we don't have any problems, apply. And finally, the rotational orientation. Therefore, we have to open up the washer, the origin of the washer, check out this one, and make it match up with the horizontal plane, the XY plane of our system, and then apply. So the washer is done, or in the assembly. Make sure you hit save. So last step will be to install the screw. Go here on Place from Content Center. And now we have to search for the screw. Click in the box ISO 4762. Hit enter. Click on the screw. Left click in your assembly. Make sure you hit as custom. Click the right dimensions. We need metric 12 with a length of 45. Say OK. So now we're going to save it in the same folder as all the other parts. Okay. Now you can see the screw is orientated differently. So if you want to pre-orientate a part, then you can go on free rotation here in the top, click the part, and now with a left click you can move it around for pre-orientation. Click outside of the part, and then you can install the screw as we did. Oh, okay, we have a problem with that. We have to switch orientations anyway. So in this case, we have to align here the other way around with this option. Apply, then make the head match up with the washer, apply, and finally we have to, now we can see it, that we still can turn the screw. That's not good. We have to fix that by choosing a plane here in the screw. Go to the origin, not this one, maybe this one is good, and make this plane with Constrain matching up with the horizontal XY plane of our system. Go to apply, and we're done with that. So to even have a better visibility of our assembly, go on View, Visual Style, and then shade it with edges. Now you can see the edges much better with this option, and it makes it easier for you to recognize which part is which. Okay, go on Save, and last thing we want to check is if we build it up correctly. Have a last look on our drawing. The drawing looks like this: screw, washer, bushing, bracket, and the pulley is in the center of the bushing. Go over here, select here on the view the half section. Now you have to make sure you choose the right plane. It's the, in my case, it's the XY plane. And there you have a cross section through all your parts. You can choose the box right here for orientation, zoom in, and now you can see we have on both sides the right distances. As we want to make sure if we got the right distance, we can measure them as well. So click M for measuring. Now you got the measuring tool on your mouse. Go on this surface, turn around, go on this surface. Now you can see 1 millimeter distance of both those surfaces. Now we make the same measuring on the other side. Check out the washer surface, then you go to the pulley, and once again you have 1 millimeter, and now we made sure that this assembly is built up correctly. So thanks for sticking with me with this video all to the end. If you found it informative, please hit the like and subscribe button, and check out the new video where we're going to make a drawing of this assembly. See you.